Good morning. It's Anand here from Osho, Ireland, for the 34th technique from the Osho Book of Secrets. This is another listening technique, looking technique. And it seems that the techniques at the moment, they're more to be discussed than to be shared. So I'll read it out, the instructions. So Osho calls this a secret method. And Shiva says to Devi, listen while the ultimate mystical teaching is imparted. Eyes still, without blinking, at once become absolutely free. So Osho explains what is the ultimate mystical teaching. He says this is a secret method, in that the master gives you the teaching secretly, the doctrine secretly. So this technique is about waiting for the right moment. There's a moment when we wait for the waiting itself. We become the waiting and we wait, and then our master will give us the teaching. And in that moment when he gives the or he or she gives the teaching, usually Osho says in a few words, then something happens. I've not had this experience, so I'm going to share. I'm going to say this, I'm really not in the mood for this today. I'm really struggling. Yeah, I'm not connecting at all with this technique. It feels alien to me, and I'm very in my head. And it would be disingenuous for me to talk about something I have no understanding of or no feel for. But I did like this story that Osho shares in this technique, so I'm going to read that to you, and perhaps you'll get something more from this than I will. It's about a student called Lin Chi who became enlightened just by sitting on his master's veranda. The master would come day after day, month after month, and he would not even look at him. And Lin Chi was waiting there. Then after 2 years, for the first time, he looked at him. Then 2 more years passed, and for the first time he patted him. Then Lin Chi waited and waited. After 6 years, one day suddenly the master came out, stared into Lin Chi's eyes, and Lin Chi must have done this technique. I'll read the instructions again. Listen while the ultimate mystical teaching is imparted. Eyes still, without blinking, at once become absolutely free. And Osho goes on to explain that the master used laughter as the method of imparting the mystical teaching, the ultimate mystical teaching. And it's not enough that the master imparts it. The student, the disciple, needs to be ready. And in being ready, it's about waiting. So I feel, for me anyway, and I'm in the waiting stage, I'm waiting. My master is Osho. Not living as in the body, but I feel Osho regardless. So maybe perhaps we'll wait together. and waiting for no other reason. You can't make a demand, you can't say, because that becomes a desire, becomes thinking. And Osho talks about in this technique, your mind has to be empty. It has to be in no mind. And I haven't reached no mind yet. A couple of times, for moments. Osho goes on to share that there are many Zen stories that share this example of where the disciple is waiting and something really simple can suddenly cause their enlightenment. And there are examples through a beautiful book called No Moon, No Water. And it's a compilation of stories that Osho shares, and they're beautiful. And those stories can really help with this technique. So next week we have another technique, another looking technique, and I hope that you can join with me, and maybe I'll connect with that one better. But for now, let's just wait together for that ultimate mystical teaching, and when that moment arises, is to be absolutely still. It's usually a brief message. Thank you very much. Bye.